Now, when I say SOH CAH TOA, there are few limitations for this. Okay, we'll discuss the formula also. But the first limitation for SOH CAH TOA is that it is applicable only for right angle triangle. Okay, if you have any random triangle, then we can't use these formulas for that. Okay, so these are just trigonometric ratio, which is applicable for only a right angle triangle. In a right angle triangle, it is must that we should have a 90-degree angle, and then the side opposite to 90-degree. This is known as hypotenuse. And then let's say if I consider an angle theta in this triangle, then the side opposite to theta, okay, just listen to that carefully. The side opposite to theta is treated as opposite, and the side which is adjacent to theta is treated as A, adjacent. Okay. And from these, we get ratios. The first one is sine. So sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. You can see SOH. Then we have cos theta, which is adjacent over hypotenuse, that is CAH. And then finally, we have tan theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. Sides are already written. We have to just write the ratios and we'll get the values of sine, cos, and tan. Other than this, at this level, you should also know this relation that sine theta by cos theta is tan theta. Okay, if in case needed, then you must know this. And the other one is sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Okay, so this is all what we have for trigonometric ratios for right angle triangle. Okay, so SOH CAH TOA is applicable only for right angle triangle. Now, what if a triangle is not a right angle triangle? Then for that, we have sine rule, cosine rule. So our next part is sine cosine rule, that we will do it together. Okay, if anyone is making notes, you can just skip making notes right now. Okay, focus only on screen because this will be shared with you in the group. Okay, I hope all of you are there in that WhatsApp group. So everything related to classes will be shared over there. So you can get it later and write it down later. Right now, just focus on screen. So we have any random triangle for which sides and angles can be any. They are not specific. Okay. Now first just learn that how do we write the sides. So in general, when we look at this triangle, the sides are written as per the angle. So the side opposite to angle A will be treated as A. Okay, you can see that I'm using lowercase. That is the general way to write. Similarly, for angle B, it will be B, and then opposite to angle C will be C. So this is how sides are written. And then based on these values, A, B, C, we can write the formulas. So for sine rule, I have sine A over A is equal to sine B over B is equal to sine C over C. It's just a ratio of sine of angle over the corresponding side. Corresponding side means whatever side is opposite to that angle that we have to take. Now the questions will be mainly involving any of the two sides angles. We don't have to talk about all three ever, but it can be any two. Okay, one more thing, just try to understand that these ABC are symbolic. If you get PQR, that is also same. Okay, if you get any other name, it will not change the concept. So don't consider that ABC are like fixed every time. It will depend on the question. So sine rule is this. And then for cosine rule, we have total 3 formulas. So the first one is A square is equal to B square plus C square minus 2BC cos A. I'll just tell you a trick to write this so that you may not have to learn it. Okay. These formulas are given in the booklet, in the formula booklet that will be provided in exam. But while practicing, if you can learn them, it will help you a lot to solve questions faster. Okay. So practice in such a way so that you should learn them. And if you forget, then you can see it in exam. It is not a problem. So if I want to write A, then just look at the sides which are other than A. So I've taken B square plus C square. Now when I took B and C as side, then angle between B and C is what written over here. So this is how you can remember. And if this pattern is understood, then we can definitely rewrite the same thing for B square. So for b square, it will be the other two sides, a square plus c square minus 2ac, and then angle between them. Now, why it is known as cosine rule? Because here we are using cos. That's the only reason. And likewise, we can also write c. So c square will be equal to a square plus b square minus 2ab cos c. Now, there are few more variants which you may see for these formulas. Okay, like one of them is you can get in the form of cos. Okay, so I'm just writing it's not a formula, but if I rearrange the first one and make cos a the subject, then I'll get cos a is equal to b square plus c square minus a square over 2bc. Okay, it's just a rearranged form. You have to make cos a the subject. For that, you have to send minus 2bc cos a on the other side, and then take this a square on the right. You will get b square plus c square minus a square, and then this 2bc will be divided. And likewise, we can write for cos b, which will be a square plus c square minus b square over 2ac, and cos c will be a square plus b square minus c square over 2ab. Now our next topic to discuss will be area of triangle. For area of triangle, we can use the same triangle as you can see here. Okay. Area of triangle means I need two sides and an angle between them. These are the things I need for the formula. Okay. So let me make a rough triangle here again. A, B, C, and then corresponding sides are A, B, C. So I can write area of triangle in three ways again. One will be comprising B and C. So that will be half BC sine A. Okay. We took B and C and we got this. Similarly, we can also take A and C and angle between them. So half AC sine B or half AB sine C. Try not to learn this as just a formula. Try to understand that whenever we have to write area of triangle, we must have two sides and angle between them. Those two sides should be labeled as anything. It really does not make any difference. Okay, it will be just the same only. Okay, so either of it will work depending upon what we have been given. So now it is good time to carry on with questions. Okay, let us move forward with questions. So as you can see, this is the first question. Okay, the diagram shows an equilateral triangle and a circle with center O. AB, BC, CA are tangents to the circle. Radius is given as x. Total area in centimeter square of the region shown shaded in the diagram is nx square. So basically area of shaded region is nx square over here, and we need to find the value of n. Now there is a challenge over here, okay, and that is that we need to get sides of this equilateral triangle. Then only we can think of finding area of equilateral triangle. Okay. Now for equilateral triangle, there are few prerequisites. Everyone is expected to know that equilateral triangle means all three sides equal and all angles 60 degree. Okay, this is like a prerequisite. For equilateral, you must know this. Now, since it is a symmetric figure, what I will do, I'll just create a line over here which will divide that 60 degree into two equal parts. And that's why this half will be 30 degree. And as we have discussed SOH CAH TOA, it is time to apply it over here. We will get this side, which is literally half of AB. Okay, so as per the labeling, we will be finding PB. And for that, I can use tan. So tan 30 is equal to x over PB. For calculations, if you're doing it together, okay, you can do it along with me. That is recommended. You can use calculator wherever you feel like. Okay, so we need to find PB value. And PB is x over tan 30. Tan 30 is 1 over root 3. So that will give me root 3x. For this, calculator can be used if you don't know the value. So we have got PB as root 3x. AB is twice of that. So I have got AB is equal to 2 root 3x. means I got side of equilateral triangle. Now for this equilateral triangle, if I have two sides, 2 root 3x, 2 root 3x, and I have angle between them, I can get area using the formula which we have just discussed. Okay, so area of triangle will be half 2 root 3x, 2 root 3x times sine 60. There is always confusion in some students that what these dots are for. Okay, I hope all of you know. Okay, dot is multiplication. When we are using x, then don't put cross like this. Otherwise, it's a confusion that whether you are writing x or multiplication. Okay, so better don't use cross in these cases. We have to just solve this. So it will be 2 root 3. 2 root 3 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 over 2 is 6. So 6x squared. And then here we have sine 60, which is root 3 by 2. Okay, so 4 3s are 12. 12 by 2, 6 root 3 by 2. And that will be finally 3 root 3 x squared, because 2 and 6 will get cancelled and we will be left with this. Now that's the area of a triangle. Now why we have found area of a triangle? Because in order to get the shaded region, we must have triangle, and from triangle I will remove circle. Okay, this is the best way to understand such questions where we have shaded regions. So triangle minus circle. Now area of circle is pi r square. R value is x in this case. So area of circle is simply pi x square. Now, as I told that if I want shaded region, then it will be triangle minus circle. Okay, that is 3 root 3 x square minus pi x square. And from both, it is clearly visible that this x square is common. I can take it out, like I can factor it out. I will be left with this. And 3 root 3 minus pi can be solved using calculator to get answer to 3 significant figures. Okay, so I want all of you to try and write down the answer in chat. Okay, I want proper participation. So you can quickly note this down, as well as if you get the answer, just put it in the chat. Okay, so when you will solve this, this will come out to be 2.05 x square. Okay, this is a value up to 3 significant figure. So the answer is find the value of n. Final answer will be n is equal to 2.05. Now, before moving on to the next question, if anyone have any question or doubt over here, be quick, you can ask it. Okay, and if it will be fine, then we will quickly move on to the next question. Now, this question is on bearings. Okay, as you can see carefully. Now, for bearings, there are few basics which we can discuss before going on to this question. Okay, bearing is just an angle which is measured with respect to north line in clockwise direction. Theoretical thing, you have to just remember this. North line means a vertical line, and angle measured clockwise means like this. So it is always measured clockwise, very important point, and with respect to this vertical line, which is north line. Vertical line also resembles y-axis, so you can also say y-axis, but theoretically, we use the word north line over here. So when they say B is on a bearing of 067, now why it is written as 067? Again, it is conventional. Whenever we have a two-digit angle, we write it down as 0 and then those two digits. If it is a three-digit angle, then directly it will be written. So what is the meaning of B is on a bearing of 067 from A? A is a point. From A means from A we have to take a bearing of 067. So at A, I will make a north line and I will take an angle of 067, and that will be B. Now, how far I have to go? So that is also given in the question, that AB is 8.4 meters. So let's say I can make it somewhere here. Okay. And this is 8.4 meters. And then C is on a bearing of 129 from B. So on B, again, we can make a knot line and we have to approximately create 129. Okay, these angles I'm taking approximate. You don't have to measure them. Just use your common sense and take an approximate angle. Okay, this diagram will just help you to do the calculation. There is no other requirement for it. So C is at a distance of 9.2 meters from B. So we can make it somewhere here. Okay, this is 9.2 and this is how our diagram is created. Okay, diagram should be clear so that you can use it for calculation. Now ABC are 3 points. We have made them. We have labeled AB, BC also. B and C bearing we have considered. This is 129. Calculate the bearing of A from C. So first let me join this A and C. Now bearing of A from C means at C I will make a north line and I have to calculate this angle. Okay, because you can see that all angles are taken in clockwise direction. Focus on the arrow. Okay, so what we are trying to find, I hope that thing is clear because after that it is just calculation. Okay, let us move on. So now if you look at both the north lines, anywhere if you see two north lines, they are always parallel to each other and reason is obvious because both of them are facing north. And when we have two parallel lines, then these two angles are considered as co-interior angles. Co-interior angles are supplementary. Supplementary means their sum is 180. Again, you can see that in order to solve any question, there are quite a lot of prerequisites. So in your lower grades, you must have done parallel lines, then transversal. And then if we see the angles on same side of transversal like this, then these are treated as co-interior angle and their sum is 180. So I'm just writing this as a concept, no need to write in the working in exam. Coming back to the question, if two angles are 90-degree, then I can write this angle as 180 minus 67. Okay. So 180 minus 67 is 113. And now look at B. Across B, the overall angle, the overall central angle is always 360-degree. Okay. So out of 360-degree, one of the angle is 113, the other angle is 129. And that can help us to get the internal angle. Okay. Why I am in search of internal angles? Because we will then go in that triangle and then we can use either sine or cosine rule depending upon further requirements. That will decide. So to get that internal angle, it will be 360 minus 113 minus 129. And that comes out to be 118. Now what do we do with this? Look inside the triangle and see that what ultimately we need to find. Okay, we need to find this angle. So somehow if I manage to get the internal angle, which I'm labeling it as theta, and I can also get this outside angle using the same co-interior, this one. Okay, I hope all can see that blue one. Okay, so 129 and that blue angle. Okay, let's say this angle is alpha. So 129 plus alpha is 180. Again, that same co-interior thing. So 180 minus 129 is 51. So I've got alpha as 51. You can directly write it down as 51. Even if you don't introduce alpha, it is okay. Now just have a look at the required angle. If somehow I manage to get theta, then I can get the required angle using 360 minus the other two. So now in that triangle, if I want to get this angle, first I will always look for whether I can use sine rule or not. Okay. For sine rule, you must have the side and angle in the combination. Like for example, if I say sine theta over 8.4, okay, we are not doing it yet. I'm just showing you how to think. Okay. Sine theta over 8.4, then I can write sine 118 over, I don't have AC. Since I don't have AC, it means I can't use sine rule in this case. This is like one of the biggest doubt again. when to use which. With practice only, you will be able to think and understand that which one should be relevant. So sine will not work here. We have to go forward with cosine rule. Cosine rule is generally used to get an angle. Okay. Or when angle is given, then we can use that to get a side. So I will be writing cosine rule with respect to AC. Now just see carefully how I'm applying the formula. Okay. AC square is equal to 8.4 square plus 9.2 square minus 2 times 8.4 9.2 times cos 118. Now you can see that this time I'm using crosses because the number themselves have decimals. Again, to avoid confusion, we have to use the sign accordingly. So why I have applied cosine rule like this? I have told earlier also when we were doing the formula that those formulas are symbolic. At the end, you have to understand that if you have to write cosine rule, then you will be taking these two sides. So 8.4 square plus 9.2 square minus twice of the same sides, product of same sides, and cos 118. So just learn how to write the formula, then you will be free from those ABC notations. So it's calculation. If anyone have calculated and if you have got the answer, you can put it in the chat. Okay, is there anyone who have got AC? So in calculator, when you'll do the calculation, you'll get AC as 15.09. Okay, 15.09177. So no need to take those many. 15.09 is okay. Now, if I have this side, I wrote sine rule formula before. Okay, we need to at the end get theta. So for that, we should use sine rule. The same formula which I had written before, I'll be writing it again now. So now since I have AC, I can go with sine rule. I will write sine 118 over AC, which is 15.09, equal to sine theta over 8.4, and rearrange and try to get theta from here. So sine theta will be equal to 8.4 times sine 118 over 15.09. And then at the end in your calculator, you can do sine inverse. So sine inverse of this whole thing. When you're typing it in calculator, make sure you're typing it properly. Okay. If anyone is not getting the answer using calculator, let me know. I'll just let you know that how to actually type. So on calculation, this comes out to be 29.44. Okay, generally we write our answer in three significant figure. So you can also leave it as 29.4 degrees. Okay, now we have got 29.4. You can just see this. We need to get that shaded angle, which was the bearing. Okay, and that can be written finally by 360 minus 51 minus 29.4. Okay, so if you will solve them all, 360 minus 51 minus 29.4, this comes out to be 279.6, which can be written as 280 degrees. Okay, so this is it. This will be the final answer. And have a look at whole calculation. you can see that the most important part of this question is diagram. If you know how to draw the diagram, then calculations may not be that difficult. Now in this question, it has been given that OAPB is a sector of a circle. Angle AOB is 50 as shown in the diagram. Area of triangle OAB is 120. Okay. Since OAPB is a sector of a circle, O is the center, then it is obvious that OA and OB will be radius. They are equal as well. If required, we can use that equal thing. But right now they are radius. Okay. And then area of triangle is given. We can use the formula of area of triangle to get the radius that will be required later. Work out the area of sector OAPB. Now for area of sector, we have a formula theta over 360 times pi r square. And we need radius. For radius, I can go ahead for area of triangle. Area of triangle is half AB sine theta, and that is equal to 120. Now, if you look at our actual requirement, we don't need radius. We need r square. So if you are smart enough and if you understand this point, then you need not find r value over here. You can better find just radius. Okay. You can just find r square value. So that will be 2 times 120 over sine 50. And this r square value, you can put it straight away in that formula. So now for area of sector, it will be theta, that is 50 over 360 times pi r square. And I'll use the exact calculator value. 50 divided by 360 times pi times. Now what is r square value? Which is written here, divided by sine 50. And I will get area of sector as 136.7. Now it is asked, write your answer in 3 significant figure. Okay, so 3 significant figure means it will be 137. Okay, so our final answer for area is 137 centimeters square. So this question was relatively easy and we should be just clear with the approach. Okay, so let us see how do we do this question. ABC is a right angle triangle. D is a point on BC. And the values are given as per the diagram we can see. Work out the length of DC and give your answer to the nearest integer. Now to get the length of DC, which is a part of another triangle, first we can try to get few things from the first triangle. Now if you look at triangle ABD, it's a right angle triangle. So since it's a right angle triangle, we can get the angles as well as we can get the sides, whatever is needed. Okay, so we'll go step by step. First, just have a look at this angle. Okay, ADB. Since it is a right angle triangle, one of the angle is 90 degree, the other angle is 47. We can get the third angle by angle sum property. Sum of all angle is 180. So 180 minus 47 minus 90, it is 43. Now with this 43, I can actually get the other angle using straight angle. So 180 minus 43 is 137. Okay. Now for the other triangle, I need this DC. I have two angles. If somehow I get this side AD, then I can try to work in that triangle again. Okay. So now to get that side AD, we can use SOH CAH TOA. Okay. Look at 47 carefully. With respect to 47, 4250 is adjacent and AD is hypotenuse. Okay. So we can use adjacent over hypotenuse, that will be cos. So cos 47 is equal to 4250 over AD. So the value of AD will come out to be 4250 divided by cos 47, and that is 6231.2 6, 8, I can write 7. So 6231.7 is the value of AD. Okay, now look at this triangle ADC. For that, I have one of the side. I have two angles. Now, if required, I can also get the third angle. Third angle is this small one. Okay, again, I can use angle sum property, 180 minus 137 minus 24. And on calculation, that will be 19. Now, if I have all three angles, I will definitely not be using cosine rule anymore to get side. I can always go ahead with sine rule. Okay, these things with practice will become more clear. So it will be sine 19 over DC that we have to find is equal to sine 24 over 6231.7. Okay, cross multiply and you can get DC is equal to 6231.7 sine 19 over sine 24, and on calculation this will be 4988.1 to the nearest integer means 4988 centimeter, not centimeter, meter will be the side. Okay, so this question is also done. And just look at the process carefully. Again, it was simple, but you should understand how we have to deal with the diagram. Okay, if that part will be done properly, then solving such questions will not be difficult. Okay, so have a look at it. If there's any doubt, you can ask. Now in this question, it is given that AB, BC, CD are three sides. AB, BC, CD are three sides of a regular pentagon. Regular means the length of all three sides will be equal. So if CD is given as 6.5, the other two will also be 6.5. CDE is a triangle. BCE is a straight line. Everything is visible properly on the diagram. And these lengths are okay. Work out the area of triangle CDE. Now to get area of triangle CDE, we should know how to find this angle of a pentagon. Okay, pentagon means five sides. There's a formula. Sum of all angles of n-sided polygon is n minus 2 times 180. This will give you sum of all angles. And if you divide this by n, this will give you each angle of that polygon. So in this formula, we just have to put n is equal to 5 and solve. So 5 minus 2 times 180 over 5 will give me angle BCD. Okay, BCD is that outer angle. We will use that to get the inner angle. So 3 times 180 divided by 5 is 108. And then to get the inner angle, I can use straight angle. The sum of these two angles will be 180. So 180 minus 108 is 72. We got that inner angle. Now, once we have the inner angle, our work is almost done. It's just a formality left. You can see that we have two sides and angle between them, which is enough to get area of triangle. So area of triangle over here will be half 6.5 times 3 times sine 72, and rest is just calculation. So 6.5 times 3 times sine 72 divided by 2 is 9.27 centimeters square up to 3 significant figure. Okay, so this question was relatively easy and we just had to use internal angle of a polygon. Okay, regular polygon to be precise. This is the formula and rest is just area of triangle formula. Based on similar shapes, similar figure. Okay, these are two 3D shapes and the diagram shows two similar vases A and B. Heights are given 30 and 12. Given that surface area of A minus B is this, find the surface area of A. Now, since we don't have their proper shapes, we don't have any other dimension, we have to use one concept over here, that whenever we have similar shapes, the ratio of their areas, area means surface area, okay? It will work for any random similar shape. The ratio of their areas is always equal to the ratio of squares of their corresponding side. In some school, this is also known as scale factor, but logically, it is the ratio of squares of sides. So I'll be using this. Since it is area, we have to square it up. And if the same question comes for volume, then we will just cube that. Okay, so that also I can write here. The ratio of volume of two similar figure will be equal to the ratio of cube of the corresponding side. So solving further from here, I can write surface area of A over surface area of B is equal to 30 over 12 whole square. Okay, this 30 over 12 is, it can be solved. So 30 divided by 12 is 2.5. 2.5 square is 6.25. So surface area of A is 6.25 times surface area of B. Now why this is important? Because we can actually plug that in this equation and then get whatever they are asking. They are asking surface area for vase A. So what I'll do, I'll write SA minus SB is equal to 178.5 and I will put the value of SB. Okay, SB from this box is SA over 6.25. That can be substituted here. And once you substitute the value, you will see that SA minus SA over 6.25 is equal to 178.5. And then SA common, 1 minus 1 over 6.25 is equal to 178.5. Rest is calculation. So if I solve the left hand side, 1 minus 1 divided by 6.25, I will be getting 0.84. Okay, purely calculator. So just go ahead and use calculator in such cases. Now we can divide both sides by 0.84. 178.5 divided by 0.84 is 212.5. Surface area of vase A was asked. That's why we'll just write this as the answer. If they would have asked us for B, we could have got that also. Okay, so I hope that the process is clear. Whenever there will be area involved, we need to do the square. If it is volume involved, it will be cubed. If you want to call that thing as scale factor, then scale factor is obtained by taking ratio of corresponding sides. And then if it is area, square it. If volume, then cube that scale factor. Okay, so this is all what we do in such type of questions. Now the next question will be this. It is based on 3D trigonometry. Okay, we have to use the same sine, cosine, or like SOH CAH TOA, anything, but we need to understand this 3D diagram first. So diagram shows a cuboid with horizontal base. Base will be rectangular. Just try to imagine that if you're seeing it from the top, you will just see a rectangle of dimension 12 and 20. Other sides are given. M is a midpoint of the base and P is a midpoint of edge. Okay, work out the size of angle BMP. Now where is B? B is over here. So BMP. Okay, we need to find this angle. Now, interestingly, if you want to find that angle, then you must have the sides. Okay. Now for the sides, we can get BP separately. We can get BM separately, and then we can get PM also. Okay. None of the sides are given, and that is our target. Once we get the sides, we can get the angle using cosine rule. Okay. So strategically, if that is clear, then let us move forward. First thing is we will try to find BM. Okay. Now for BM, just look at the length AM. And AM is half the length of diagonal AE. Now if you look at this rectangle whose dimension are 12 and 20, this is point A and this is E, and If I join it, M is exactly at the center. So I will first find AE, which will be square root of 20 square plus 12 square, Pythagoras theorem, and then I will half that up. So 20 square plus 12 square and square root. This comes out to be 23.32, and then we need to half it. So on halving, I will get AM, that will be 11.66. Okay. Now with AM, look at the triangle ABM. AB is 8. AM we have just found, and we can find BM using Pythagoras theorem. So 11.66 square plus 8 square, and then square root of that will give me BM, and BM will be 14.14. Okay, for BM, you can show the working like this. BM will be 11.66 square plus 8 square, and that will give you 14.14. Now we have got BM. Now it is time to find MP. For MP, again, look at this triangle, rectangle, and if I join a line from M to this point, then this will be half of the side because it's a midpoint. So this will be 6, and then from P to this point, this will be same as the height, which is 8, and we can very easily find PM again using Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so this is a triangle PM, and let's say this is Q. Label it by any label, it is your choice. So I want to find PM, so it will be PM square is equal to 8 square plus 6 square. That will give me PM is equal to 10 on calculation. Okay, I have got PM value. Now finally I have to find BP value. Okay, this question is bit lengthy. It is not complicated, but it is bit lengthy. Plus, you should be able to see these small triangles. Now finally for BP, I will look in triangle BPC. Okay, BPC as per the diagram, this is B, P, and C. BC is same as 12 centimeter. PC is same as half of 20 because P is the midpoint. So that will be 10. And then BP will be square root of 12 square plus 10 square. So square root of these two will come out to be 15.6. I've got BP also as 15.6. Now finally I will look in the triangle, and I have got everything. Final calculation is left. This is triangle BMP, for which BM is 14.14, BP is 15.6, and CP, MP value is 10. I need this angle. I can use cos theta and get that done. Now, before we move forward, I'll take you up to the formulas initially which we were discussing. The formulas can also be written in this form, in the form of cos. Okay, this is what I will be doing. If you are not aware with this formula, then you can write the regular ones and then rearrange. Before solving anything, rearrange. So we will be doing this because that will be easy in calculation. So I can write the formula as cos theta is equal to 14.14 square plus 10 square minus 15.6 square over 2 times 2 times 14.14 times 10. Now how I got this? So let me write the elaborated one. 15.6 square is equal to 14.14 square plus 10 square minus 2 times 14.14 times 10 times cos theta. Okay, this is the actual one, which can be rearranged to write in the form what you can see here. Okay, it is highly recommended, not compulsory. You can do it in either form. You should just do it right. That's it. So from here, when you will solve and calculate further, you can very easily get the value of cos theta. Okay, so just try to solve it. And when you will solve further, the value of cos theta will come out to be 78.6 degrees. Okay, so this was a question of 3D trigonometry in which we have applied literally SOH TOA and Pythagoras theorem again and again, working on small triangles as you can see. Okay, so this is the part which will require practice. If you can visualize the triangles, then these questions are pretty much doable. And after that, at the end, we have to apply either sine rule or cosine rule, depending upon what is asked. Okay, so today we will be stopping over here. Okay, there are a few questions left in this.